Big Time Wrestling. For 10 years, this show was the hot ticket in town.
Wow, he is just a mass of blood if we can get a close-up on him.
The pro wrestling phenomenon was taped every Thursday right here at Fox 40.
There was a huge line every week. Outside, they'd have 200 or 300 people lined up to get in.
Whoa!
Only the first 100 people in line got to see high-flying moves, drop kicks, and over-the-top drama in person. The rest had to wait until Saturday night to watch the match on TV 40.
And the show ran for 10 years on Channel 40, and it was the #1 show for the entire run.
Victor Berry was just 14 years old when he started coming to Fox 40 to watch, eventually working up the courage to ask the promoter if he could photograph the wrestlers and sell programs.
It took over a year. I kept talking to the promoter about letting me do something, but he just thought I was a kid and wouldn't even talk to me about it. But finally, Hank Renner, who was the announcer that worked here at Channel 40.
The most disgusting displays I have personally ever seen.
He told Roy Shire, the promoter, that if he let me do it, that he'd keep an eye on me to make sure I didn't get in trouble.
Little did Victor know that was the beginning of what would become lifelong friendships and memories.
And Billy Graham back then, he was really famous later in the WWF.
As he showed our producer some of the hundreds of pictures he took, it was clear his time with Big Time Wrestling was unforgettable.
I have other pictures too, but this is a picture of me and the Wrestling Bear.
Was the Wrestling Bear here?
Yeah, he was here in Channel 40.
This is Terrible Ted, a 600-pound black bear trained to wrestle people.
That bear was gigantic. You know, it doesn't look like he was much bigger than me there, but he was huge. And you could see he was chained to the wall. That's why I was so brave.
Over the years, Victor watched wrestlers like Pat Patterson, Pepper Gomez,
One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
and Haystack Calhoun battle it out in the ring.
And the only things that were planned were who was going to win and how they were going to win. Matches were always run by the bad guys, or the heels, is how they're called in the business. And so the heel would tell his opponent what to do next.
He also learned the code the wrestlers used to communicate during the matches.
They talked in carnival talk, and they called it carny. And they could talk to each other, and people in the seats wouldn't understand what they were saying because they weren't speaking real words. But it was enough to let the guy know what to do next.
Victor also got to know the grandfather and father of one of the most famous wrestlers and actors today, The Rock.
Peter Mavia was from Samoa, and he was a real Samoan prince. And he was very, very popular here. Peter and Rocky Johnson, tag teamed together a lot. And so this is them after one of their matches here at Channel 40. Peter's daughter met Rocky Johnson, who was also a big star here. And so they ended up getting married. And that's how The Rock basically came to be, because they met here.
Eventually, by the late 1970s, the audience began to dwindle, and in 1979, Big Time Wrestling was canceled. But the memories live on forever.